Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carruthers, and welcome to another installment. It literally is Good Friday, isn't it? Welcome to everyone's favorite 36-minute and 21-second horse racing program. It's time to kick off a great weekend with blinkers off. And yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, one of the biggest Saturdays of the entire year, and the richest Saturday of the year as well. $27 million at stake in 8 stakes races. Dubai World Cup Day, Meydan Racecourse in Dubai, $10 million Dubai World Cup, the big one, but $27 million, 8 races worth $1 million or more. We'll cover Dubai World Cup Day aplenty over the next 35 minutes. It's also a pretty good day stateside, big day. Derby Preps, $1 million. Louisiana Derby, $1 million Florida Derby. We have some stakes races to discuss at Santa Anita. We have our always popular Saturday play of the day, and we have Mr. Pollock. We have a lot to get to, but right now we have a very special guest on the line right now from Dubai. Stephen Molyneux, Dubai time form and handicapping expert, joins us now to dive in to the big races tomorrow at Meydan Racecourse. Stephen, are you there?
I'm there, Matt. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming. What time is it there right now?
We're just approaching 8 p.m. in the evening, so I think everyone's getting an early night in Dubai, ready for what's going to be an absolutely massive day tomorrow.
You got to be pretty excited, huh?
Oh, without a doubt. I think the Breeders' Cup is obviously an excellent meeting. I'd say Dubai very much on a par in terms of getting the horses from all over the world. I think there are about 13 different countries represented at Meydan tomorrow, and it should be a fantastic spectacle.
All right. The U.S. has not fared well so far in the 3 runnings over the Tapeta surface at Meydan. I think many of us think that will change tomorrow. Just a quick overview of the World Cup. How good, obviously it's a great race. It's $10 million, the richest race in the world. How good is this group that's going to be competing tomorrow for $10 million?
I think it's one of the best we've seen, certainly on the Tapeta service. The American Challenge, as you alluded to, I think it's as strong as it's been for several years in terms of depth. The Godolphin Challenge, they've got 3 or 4 horses, and I'll tell you something, I don't think you could be put off any one of them. And then you've got Mike de Kock, who's got 1 or 2 as normal, a couple of Brits, a French horse in there as well. So I think it's a very, very reflective race tomorrow, and whoever wins it has definitely earned the right to that massive paycheck.
All right, and real quickly, you're, Dubai time form expert. That's why we have you on. And we'll begin with Royal Delta because she has the highest time form rating. For those that are watching right now that aren't overly familiar with the time form, can you kind of briefly tell our viewers right now that are looking at this graphic right now what that really means with Royal Delta having the highest number at 146?
Yeah, well, basically, we assess horses along a similar vein to the official handicapper. So the official handicapper, he gives his rating, and we have ours. And the ratings you see there, they look inflated compared to their official marks. We do sort of readjust them compared to the weight that they carry. So Royal Delta, for example, she's got the time form rating of 146. Her actual rating is 128. And the difference there is obviously the weight that she carries minus 10 stone. So that's how we sort of arrive at our figures.
So just because she has the highest time form number doesn't necessarily mean that she should be the favorite or the one to beat?
Not really. I suppose, in our view, sort of the ratings are what they've achieved previously and not necessarily what we think they can run to on Saturday. As I probably go on to, I'm not sure that Royal Delta, she's got £3 in hand according to the ratings. I'm not sure it's going to play out like that on Saturday. But yeah, basically, the higher the rating, the better the chance we feel the horse has got.
I mean, what do you think about her chances before we move on to Animal Kingdom? I mean, she's obviously in great form. She's a much quicker racehorse than she was a year ago. She had that trouble trip last year in the World Cup. She finished 9th. I know you have a long shot in Plan Tour right to her inside, who was 3rd in the race a year ago, who has some quickness. You think Royal Delta gets a real nice trip, either on the lead or just stalking off of a long shot, who's probably going to come back to the field?
Yeah, exactly. I think Plan Tour, they've already stated that they're planning on going forward. They did so in their trial race last time. So, like you say, Royal Delta can track that horse over. I suppose I was a little bit surprised. I don't know how you feel about this, about the Connections choosing stall 8. She was pretty much first out of the hat. She had the option of stalls 1, 2, 3 or 4. and they've chosen to go stall 8. I guess they don't want a repeat of what happened last year, really, do they? In which the front runner sort of fell back on a lap to a certain degree, and she was basically put out of the race. So she should have plenty of daylight from stall 8. There's a big run to that first bend, so a fairly wide draw shouldn't be an issue. And I think she's, like you say, definitely a better mare than last year. We've got her rated 4 pounds higher than this time last year, so yeah, I think she's got a very good chance.
Yeah, you just question maybe who she's been facing. You can't do that with Animal Kingdom because he's been facing, second to Wise Dan, who was Horse of the Year here in the States in 2012, second to a fabulous racehorse in Point of Entry. And from what I hear, he's been doing just wonderfully since he's been in Dubai over the last, 9 days, I think?
That's right. And I think there's definitely a sense of unfinished business, isn't there, with this horse? He's obviously a Kentucky Derby winner. Things haven't really gone according to plan since then. He was sort of being prepped for this race 12 months ago and didn't make it, sadly. But he's here now. He's a very consistent horse. If you look at his time form ratings, rarely does he drop below his peak rating. And like I say, I don't think he's fully exposed yet. So while stall 12, not ideal for him, again, he adds another very strong bow to the American string.
Then we have Dullahan, Gary Stevens will ride, a man who's won 7 World Cup races from 24 mounts. Horse that probably moved way too early with Kieran Fallon in his last start at Meydan, first start in 4+ months. You have Hunter's Light, who's your morning line favorite. Do you want to give a pick right now before we jump on to the next race? Do you feel comfortable with that?
Hunter's Light is my selection for the race. He's one of those horses. He's probably not the classiest. I think that's fair to say, but he's proven under these conditions. He's absolutely thriving. He's 4 from 5 on an artificial surface, 2 from 2 on Tapeta. I just think he's got quite a lot in his favour on Saturday, drawn stall 4 as well, which is another big bonus.
And wasn't he was part of the pace, wasn't he, the 9th of March, and the pace was pretty quick, which makes his victory even that much more impressive?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he'll necessarily press the pace. He'll probably sit 3rd or 4th, which is why I feel he'll be in the perfect position throughout. Godolphin have got 4 runners in there. I'd be a little bit surprised if one of them didn't go forward at least. Possibly Capone. He was the one that ensured the pace last year. So there could be 2 or 3 vying for the pace. I expect him to sit 4th or 5th and hopefully pounce inside the final couple of furlongs, which he's done for his last 2 victories.
All right, let's move on to the UAE Derby, which is a prep for the Kentucky Derby, a 100-pointer, and where the U.S. contingency has a big shot in the World Cup, and maybe not as big a shot in the UAE Derby. He's had enough. Is a horse that did break his maiden sprinting over the poly track at Del Mar, but a horse who's just not in particularly good form. I'm guessing you would think a play against it at 8-1 on the morning line?
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, he's not really, that Breeders' Cup Juvenile performance stands out on our time form ratings. He's basically not come to within 8 pounds of matching it on any of his other starts. So there's already a horse we've seen in Dubai this year run for Godolphin, who's finished behind Shanghai Bobby, and he'd not shown a great deal. So whether that form is perhaps as strong in terms of depth further down the field, I don't know. But yeah, he looks to have a bit to find. These UAE Derby races, they're not the strongest, but Godolphin have got a couple in here this year. Secret Number, they think a lot about this horse. The track work rumours are that he's absolutely flying. So he's very well backed in the British markets as well. I think he's nearly 2-1 favourite now. So
there he is, towards the top of the time form ratings. And yeah, in that race on the 9th of March, he hadn't raced in 4.5 months, and he had a pretty wide trip too, didn't he? He was still able to overcome that and win comfortably.
Exactly. He did a lot of things wrong that day. He was also slowly away, covered plenty of extra ground. I don't think, again, the race was as strong as perhaps the likes of Line of Battle maybe running in America, but he did absolutely everything wrong and still won easily. He's a very exciting horse, and like I say, the money that's come in for him over the last 2 days, I suspect that could speak volumes.
Okay, so you think Secret Number is going to be tough. 3-1 morning line favorite. Race number 4, UAE Derby, 100 points in terms of for the Kentucky Derby. Race number 2, as we're jumping around, Godolphin Mile, $1 million event in this race. You have Alpha in the U.S., 15-1. I mean, he hasn't beaten a horse. He's beaten 1 horse in his last 3 races. I mean, that's not the kind of momentum you want to have going into a World Cup race, is it?
It's not, no. Sylvester, I managed to catch a word with Sylvester de Souza yesterday, his jockey, and they're putting the visors on him tomorrow. So they expect a better performance in the headgear. But like you say, the recent form is absolutely nothing to write home about, and he definitely goes into the race with a bit to prove. I think, if he was absolutely firing, then the World Cup would have been more on his agenda rather than this far lesser race in the Godolphin Mile.
I mean, Surfer is 6-1 on the morning line, but I think we take a look at the time form. There he is. So he's 6-1 morning line. I know Pat Cummings, who will be providing coverage with us tomorrow, likes this horse, and this is a horse that's faced Hunter's Light in his last couple of starts, who you think is going to win the World Cup, and he cuts back in distance. We're not going to get 6-1 on Surfer, are we?
Yeah, I really like this horse. I've been talking with Pat over the last 2 or 3 days. I think I've actually got a few dollars on for him on Surfer, so we are singing off the same hymn sheet here. But he's, like you say, that form behind Hunter's Light is very solid. He's dropping back to a mile today. I think that's going to suit him. He's not really got home over 9.5 and 10 furlongs, 2,000 metres the last twice. So he's a horse that not too many people internationally will know that much about, simply because he's trained by Tatis Seymour. But I can tell you, I think he's got a very good chance tomorrow. Yeah,
and cutting back in distance from 1.25 miles to the flat mile should get a really good trip. That's race number 2, the Godolphin Mile. Now we're going to jump ahead to race number 5, Alcaz Sprint, 5 furlongs on the turf. And obviously, when you're talking about $1 million race and you have sprinters going 5 furlongs on grass, you can have a lot of speed. The 3 at 6-1 morning line apparently is very, very quick. Varsity is lightning fast. Star Spangled Banner was your pace setter down the hill in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, November 3rd at Santa Anita. Shay, Michael de Kock, who has 13 horses scheduled to go tomorrow in Dubai, says that his best chance of winning is here with Shay. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think I definitely do agree. It's reflected in the British prices. He's near an even money favourite. I suspect he'll go off at that price as well. But, yeah, he was mightily impressive here last time.
Course record.
Several of these when... That's right. I mean, a lot of course records have gone this season, so maybe we get a little bit carried away with this. But I think aside from that, he was mightily impressive. Soul Power was in second. He runs again on Saturday. I think he'll finish a little bit closer. But Shay, he looks a really top-class sprinter. People are concerned by stall 7. The way he hung right first time out this season. People think he might do that again, but I think tiredness played a big part that day. We know Mike de Kock have improved massively from their first runs this season. I expect he could even improve again on that win last time. So, yeah, he's the strongest favourite on the night, and I think he'll win.
All right, Stu, I'm still waiting for that bust-out long shot. Still waiting for that horse. I'm still waiting for that horse. You like a lot of horses. You have a strong opinion here. Horses may not pay all that much. I'm waiting for that long shot. Maybe the Golden Shaheen. Some of the elite sprinters, obviously, in the world, $2 million going 6 furlongs. Of course, no longer a straightaway. That's the way it was the old racetrack. Trinneberg won the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It was his first start against older horses. It was his first start with blinkers. He hasn't raced since. It's been 5 months. We know he's lightning quick. I'm hearing that some people think that he might not quite be ready for this race. He might need a couple more workouts. Or what do you think? Is this too much too soon for Trinneberg off the layoff?
Possibly. I've not heard those rumours myself, so I don't know. But I think with a sprinter in a top Group 1 race, you've got to be 110%. He's going to get taken on for the lead here, I think. There's the other American Private Zone. I suspect he'll go forward as well. Possibly Reply as well of Aidan O'Brien's. He's like to have gone forward in the past. You're searching for an outsider. Well, I might throw one in here for you.
Okay, good.
You've got Kavanagh.
Okay.
Kavanagh, trained by Mike de Kock.
Number 7.
I expect Mike de... Yeah, he'll have already won the previous sprint with Shay. Confidence will be high. This horse finished second behind Mental on his penultimate start. Mental is £5 better off. So you might think I'm pretty mad here going for this one, but if you go back to, race, go back to that race, and Kavanagh, he was always up with the pace. He struck for home, I thought, plenty soon enough, and he was always vulnerable later on. Mental picked him up. I think he's about 14, 16 to 1 in
Yeah.
Britain. I suspect he'll be bigger in America. So he could be the long shot in this race.
Okay, you like Mental, but Kavanaugh, the price horse, the 7 in the $2 million 6 furlong Golden Shaheen race 6 at Meydan on Saturday. The Dubai Duty Free, 1.125 turf, field of 14 scheduled to go in this race. And no U.S. horse has ever won on the grass on World Cup Day, but a lot of people think that will change with Little Mike installed as your 3-1 morning line favorite, Stephen.
Yeah, he's going to run a big race. He could even get the run of this from the front. I don't see that there's too many other natural front runners in this race. So there's every chance that Little Mike could get loose on the lead. There was a concern about the drop-in trip, but excuse me, personally, I don't see that as an issue. He was obviously a winner over 9 furlongs earlier last year. So he's had the pipe opener. They had to try him onto Peter. Obviously, they wanted to run in the World Cup. He didn't seem to handle it. He was too keen. Back on turf. You know, the trip, no problems. I can see why he's favourite. So maybe not the selection for me, but I think he's going to run a very big race.
I mean, all these races are great betting races is all. When you have top horses, you have 3-1 morning line favorites, you have fields of 12, 13, and 14. Is this as wide open a race as there is, though? Is this one of those races where really almost anybody can win?
Yeah, this is the hardest race to solve for me on the night. There's possibly 1 or 2 that can't win it. The other 12 are definitely in with a shout. A bit of information for you here. Again, with Silvestre de Sousa yesterday, his best ride on the night, the one he's most looking forward to, is Sadja in this race. A bit of a surprise for me, but he's a filly that's absolutely thriving out here. Won all 3 starts in the hood.
Yeah.
So she's maybe the one to keep an eye on.
Wow, and number 1 in terms, so the jockey very excited. Time form rating number 1. You look at that morning line, 8-1 on the line.
Yeah.
Sadja the 5 in the duty-free 1.125 over the turf course. That's race number 7. I told you we fly through this. We still have you're not excused to go yet. And probably go to sleep, getting ready for your big day tomorrow, as it's past 8 o'clock there in Dubai. 12 furlongs on the turf. The Shima Classic. This is $5 million on the line, and you have some stars that are obviously going to be in Dubai tomorrow. Is Gentle Donna as big a star as we have throughout the entire card?
I think so, yeah, definitely. Speaking to people, I think what they've said is we've not really got too many genuine superstars here. We've got a lot of very, very good horses. But in terms of, grabbing the limelight, last year we maybe had So You Think, Game On Dude, 1 or 2 others. This year, I definitely agree. Gentle Donna, she's attracted a load of attention. There must be 200 or 300 Japanese journalists over here. They're all flying out straight after the race to go and watch Orfera, but she's definitely a very exciting horse. As you can see, time form top rated, £2 clear of Await the Dawn. Again, price-wise, though, she's very short internationally. I don't know what she's in America, but she's about 6-4, 7-4 in Britain.
Okay.
I think that's a little bit too short. This could be another race to try and find an outsider, I think.
Well, I like her connect. Her trainer basically says when people call her great, that's not good enough. She's not great. Yeah. She's one of the all-time great. I mean, he really thinks that she's one of the more special horses around. I guess we'll find out if she can beat a field like this off of a 4-month layoff. There she is, number 1, time form rating 144. Await the Dawn, 142. St. Nicholas Abbey hasn't raced since the Breeders' Cup Turf, ran 3rd to Little Mike in that race. Obviously won the Breeders' Cup Turf at Churchill in 2011. And so you think Gentle Donna, a little bit of a standout, and after Gentle Donna, a bunch of horses that look kind of the same?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. They St. Nicholas Abbey, 2nd in this last year, 3rd in some very good races. Charetta the same. They're not, I wouldn't say they're they're obviously very good horses, but they're not top class. And, we've got a Japan Cup winner here in Gentle Donna. I think she's going to take a bit of beating, but if we're looking for something at a bigger price to fill the placings, then look no further than Mike the Cock again. Await the Dawn. We've got him 2nd top rated. I thought he ran very well on his penultimate start. He was an easy winner of a handicap. Things didn't pan out as suited him last time. He'll be the one that's finishing just about best of all, so he could sneak a place.
Okay, I set a course record winning that race on the 21st of February. Before I let you go, this will be an easy one for you. Most likely winner. Most likely winner. The entire card, Steve.
Well, I think Shay is the most likely winner. He's going to be the shortest price. The one race that we've not covered is actually my best bet on the whole night, the Dubai Gold Cup.
Of course it is.
Yeah, Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum's the horse. He's an unexposed stayer for Godolphin. I think he's got a very good chance. Of the races that we previewed, Surfer fits the bill for me. Okay, all right. Surfer, who we don't think will get 6-1. Tenenbaum, by the way, the 8-horse in race number 3, the Dubai World Cup. Stephen Molyneux, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Blinkers Off, and best of luck tomorrow. I know you put a lot of work into this, and hopefully that work will pay off tomorrow. Cheers, Matt. It's been an absolute pleasure. Speak soon. Stephen Molyneux joining us, Dubai Timeform and handicapping expert. And again, tomorrow, live coverage, myself and Greg Wolf, beginning at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And our coverage sponsored by Keeneland Sales and Racing. And again, it begins tomorrow at 6 a.m. Oh, this was one of those weeks last week where I got shut out. I was horrible. But third at 23-1, we're first or second. Fourth at 11-1 in a giant field. You know, they didn't run terribly. Well, some of them did, like this one. Yeah, you know, when you try to be Dave Kingman every time you're up, you know, you're going to have those 0 for 4 collar nights, golden sombrero. Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Okay, and play of the day, not much better. Yeah. I think I'm down to like 50, 60, something like that. Oh, okay. All right, I was kind of treading water. No, now I'm a little bit under at this point. So again, what do you do? What's the best thing to do when you're a gambler and you're not doing particularly well? You know, you try to catch up all in one shot. You don't try to go back little increments. You go for the long ball once again. I thought tomorrow's card in New York looks very challenging, which is a good thing. Hopefully there won't be the kind of scratches that we've had on a daily basis in New York. It's another topic altogether. But race number 8, you have a field of 11, 6 furlongs, tough optional 50 race. And the 10 isn't Love Just Grand. You know, I'm a loyal guy. I made money in the source when he won at 9-1 on the air back on the 17th of January. Since then, 3 straight 4th place finishes. But he's been pace compromised to Be Shanny, to Flying Zealous, and to Driven by Solar. In race number 8, there is pace everywhere with Ready to Defer, with Hackleton, Sensational Slam, Night Maneuver. I think the race finally sets up for Isn't Love Just Grand. Real good betting race, 20-1 on the morning line, and that's the beauty of tomorrow's card in New York, pre-scratches. Their horses at prices that make a lot of sense at Aqueduct on Saturday. Time for our first commercial timeout. We come back. Live racing, 15 minutes away from the opener at Tampa. Oh, and Mr. Pollock, Ray Pollock, will join us on Blinkers Off. Don't go anywhere.
Uncle Mo, undefeated Eclipse Award-winning juvenile and top-class sophomore. Uncle Mo recorded the highest Beyer speed figures of his generation at both 2 and 3. A magnificent individual who completely dominated his rival.
Here's Uncle Mo, and he is indeed the real deal.
Uncle Mo, superb in the juvenile.
Look at the time in the mud, 1:33 and 4.
Uncle Mo, the ultimate racehorse, the ultimate sire prospect, standing at Ashford Stud.
Suppose you need some extra cash fast. What do? Drive to a payday store, stand in line, and wait? Hi, Montel here. Put the keys down and go to MoneyMutual.com. MoneyMutual has a network of over 100 short-term lenders who could get you up to $1,000 in as little as 24 hours, even if you have less than perfect credit. It's easy and it's private. That's why over 1 million people have turned to MoneyMutual. So, forget about the long lines. Remember, MoneyMutual.com or call 1-800-555-CASH.
The TVG Saturday Spotlight Race. Join us for the Echo Eddie from Santa Anita. Watch and wager on one of the weekend's best stakes races. The Saturday Spotlight on TVG.
Wager for free with TVG. That's right, beginning Monday, April 1st, TVG members will have more to bet with. No more wagering fees, plus free video streaming and free deposits through TVG BetCash. Get the details at TVG.com.
Bullet Train kick for home and gets away. Compensation for the connections of Timepiece. He wins well. Classy. Very, very classy.
With Frankel being full for the next 3 years, we feel with Bullet Train, you get 75% of the blood for 4% of the cost, and he's a unique opportunity for American breeders.
Glaring sun can be downright dangerous, and most sunglasses just make things darker and hard to see. You need high-definition contrast and clarity. You need our brand new HD Vision sunglasses. Over 12 million sold, and now they fold. That's right, our newest, best high-definition lenses in a revolutionary foldable frame. HD Vision foldaways. Small enough to fit in a shirt pocket, even that tiny purse. And these new lenses are our best high-definition optics ever.
Oh, wow. Wow.
These are great. I don't know how you do it. It just looks that much more clear.
See, this is what's so amazing because I use little purses.
Other foldable sunglasses cost up to $300, and our lenses are clearer, brighter, and preferred by virtually everyone.
Everything's so clear. I love the color behind the lens.
Everything's clear, crisp.
The fact that they fold up and I can put them in my pocket.
HD Vision foldaways. The coolest, most amazing sunglasses you've ever seen. They're like magic sunglasses with high-definition lenses. But most amazing is the price. Right now, you can get HD Vision foldaways for just $14.99. That's right, just $14.99 for the coolest sunglasses you've ever seen.
No way.
The quality is here and the price is here. It doesn't make any sense. But good for us.
But that's not all. You'll get a second pair free. Just pay processing and handling. You can even upgrade to foldable aviators.
You're kidding me. 2 pairs of these glasses.
Don't wait. Get the coolest sunglasses and the best value you've ever seen. Call or go online right now. HD Vision foldaways.
To order HD foldaways, call 1-800-992-1659. That's 1-800-992-1659. Or you can visit us online at hdfoldaways.com. HD Foldaways, an Idea Village product.
EquineLine.com is the proven source for pedigrees relied upon around the globe. For complete pedigrees with worldwide racing. EquineLine.com.
TVG is good for the game.
Oh, I look forward to this segment every week. Just to make that noise alone. Those are angry bees. Those are, what did you do, Ray? The bees sound angrier this week. They're mad. They really want to get you this week.
They looked at our picks from last week and didn't do very well.
They wagered on them. That's why they're so upset. How are you? You're in Florida, right?
Down in Florida for the Florida Derby. I went to the sale earlier this week, the 2-year-old sale, Fasig-Tipton Florida sale. And big day of racing tomorrow. Get up early. Don't stay out late tonight.
That's right. Yeah. I'll be getting up, and some people are going home tonight on a Friday night, somewhere in the 3:30 a.m. vicinity. But it is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Before we jump into Florida Derby, Louisiana Derby, I do want your thoughts quickly on 2 of the races. World Cup day tomorrow, obviously the big one, the $10 million Dubai World Cup at 1.25 miles, field of 13. Any strong thoughts, opinions?
Well, I really can't say more than your previous guest, Steven, said. I'm not going to refer to the French horses as Frenchies, but I do think Secret Numbers kind of got them. I'm sorry, that's the African Story, I think, is the horse that I like there. Secret Number in the
UAE Derby. Okay.
Yeah, but African Story I like quite a bit in the Dubai World Cup.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With Kieran Fallon stretching out.
He didn't do too well on Doulahan last time out, but no, I think African Story fits with these. You know, he's won the Godolphin Mile on that racetrack a year ago, and can he stretch out a little bit? I think so.
Okay, and if Animal Kingdom wins, are you going to be singing along with the Australian anthem? Is that something
I'll be
you're
happy
planning on
for any of the American horses to win. It's a tough trip to make. It's become a really hard race to win for the Americans. The surface is quirky. I think a lot of horses just don't seem to like it. And you know, Royal Delta, Animal Kingdom, any of the Americans, I'd love to see them win. But I just think it's really hard for them to go over there and win, as it's shown the last few years.
All right, so we already talked to you. You like the favorite there, Secret Number, but you're going to give us a price horse in the Dubai World Cup with the 11.
You know, the interesting thing in the Derby, you get some 4-year-olds in there, the Southern Hemisphere horses. And the horse that finished second last time to Secret Number, Zahi from New Zealand, I think deserves a little bit of a look too.
Okay.
You know, the 4-year-olds tend to have an advantage this time of year. Now, they're born at a different time in the calendar, and they carry 131 pounds. So there is a disadvantage there too.
All right, before we jump into a couple of giant $1 million races here in the States, one in Louisiana, the other in Florida, you know, we don't have time for a lot of buzz in the biz, but Steve Asmussen has accomplished so much in racing, especially over the last 10, 15 years. Another milestone for the trainer, right?
Yeah, he passed Jack Van Berg yesterday, I guess the 4th race at the fairgrounds. He's passed Jack Van Berg, number 2 all-time winningest trainer. He's only got Dale Baird to catch. Steve's a young guy.
He's a young guy. I was going to say.
Yeah,
he's a young, dapper man.
That's right.
That's
his hair's getting about as gray as mine is, but he's still in his 40s. He's got a long way to go. He's going to win a lot more races before it's over.
The other thing that's amazing about Asmussen is, yes, he got a lot of those wins. He was just raking off just huge amounts of wins every year back when he was a claiming guy. Now he's winning a ton of races, and he has a lot of elite horses, too. Obviously, Curlin and Rachel come to mind, 2 of the best horses we've seen over the last 10 years. So winning with the bulk of wins and doing it with high-level racehorses, too, makes it even more impressive.
Well, he's a lot of those wins were at the bottom level, but
for a while.
You're right. He's getting good horses now. It just shows you that he can train a good horse. He can train a 5-claimer, and he likes to win races no matter where they are. When he won the Preakness, he was talking about how he'd won a big race somewhere else a little bit earlier that year, and he went to the simulcast to see a $2,500 claimer win, down in Delta or something like that. And he said, "I got as big a kick out of that as I did out of this stakes race."
Hasn't lost his hunger.
A win is a win. Yeah.
6 furlongs here at Tampa. Weather looks lovely. Main track fast. 7 minutes away from this 8,000 maiden claiming event for 3-year-olds. Scratch the 5 in this spot. Here is Gintraker, the 8, who rounds out the field. Favored in his debut. Decent second in that start on the 24th of February. Right now, your second choice at 2-1, because the bettors are infatuated with Artie Ocean, the 3, and people just love the cutback in distance angle, and they see a horse that showed some pace at 7, cutting back to 6, and they get very excited. And he's your favorite right now on the board. I thought the 6 a little interesting. I like these late in heat first-time starters. 6 minutes away from the first at Tampa, but again, Louisiana Derby, Florida Derby, you can wager on those races at tvg.com and watch them with our live video streaming product. And in the Louisiana Derby, feel a 14. Looking at the weather for tomorrow in the Crescent City, should have a fast track. 14, 3-1 morning line favorite. And Revolutionary, Javier Castellano, Todd Pletcher, first start since that pretty amazing win in the Withers, which he overcame so much to score by a neck. What are you expecting to see from him tomorrow?
Well, he's seeing a lot tough. He's going to see a lot tougher horses. Obviously, if he is as good as he showed in the stretch of that last race, he should blow by this field. But I'm going against him. I'm also going against all the horses in the Risen Star. As soon as they cross the finish, where there are 5 or 6 of them on the line, I just said I don't think this is the race of the future. So
Departing. This is your pick. Texas Heritage Stakes.
Yeah, he's a newcomer, pal. He's look at how easily he wins this race. He's 3 for 3.
Okay.
I think they've been very carefully plotting this race, getting him fit, and I think we're going to see an enormous race out of Departing on Saturday.
Bullet workout, fast of 65 at the fairgrounds, 47-1. Alstall obviously knows what he's doing. in situations like this, but it hasn't been tested yet from a class standpoint.
That's right.
It hasn't been tested during a race. Those are 3 easy wins. You know, the more I looked at this race, the more I decided there was no pace in this race. Because Code West, who showed speed in the Risen Star, did so because the pace was so slow. 23-4, 48-1. Proud Strike showed pace in that race, but that's not what Proud Strike does, and it didn't work for him, so I think they take him back a little bit. I like Titletown 5 in this spot. Yes, Wayne Lucas. It's all about Wayne Lucas. Oxbow going to the Arkansas Derby, will take charge, probably going to train for the Kentucky Derby. Titletown 5, this is a horse, wins by 9 breaking his maiden, ran second at Oaklawn in the 2nd of March. That was his first start in 4+ months. Closers did pretty well that day. He was only a neck behind Violence, 3 starts back. I think John Court controls this race from the get-go. You know, out of the horses in this field, do I think he has the best chance of winning the Kentucky Derby? No. I think he has the best chance of winning this race, though, tomorrow. Yeah. I like Titletown 5 to go wire to wire to price. Gulfstream, you'll be at this race. 9 furlongs, Florida Derby, Grade 1 event, and It's My Lucky Day. A horse who's only been favored once in his career in 9 starts is installed as your morning line favorite in the Florida Derby. I think he should be. What do you think?
Well, I think he should be, too. He's kind of the Rodney Dangerfield horse here, right? He gets no respect. I'm not so sure he'll go off favorite. You know, the Orb is going to take a lot of action. I think Shanghai Bobby will, too. But let's face it, It's My Lucky Day loves Gulfstream Park. He needs the points. He needs to, he needs some points out of this race. So Edward Plesa Jr.'s got him. I think he's got him in really fit for this. If you look at the workout pattern, comparing him to what Shug McGahee has done with Orb, I think It's My Lucky Day has really been primed for this race. And I believe that he's ready to run a big race, and I'm going to go with him, whether he's favored or not. I respect it.
I'm telling you, my wife is slow. It takes her 90 minutes to watch 60 minutes. I'm saying she's slow. She killed our toy poodle by trying to put batteries in it. She's slow.
My horses are slow usually.
I agree with you. It's My Lucky Day. I think wins this. I love the way this horse is being handled, Eddie Plesa.
Orb is still my Derby. Orb is still my Derby horse.
Right.
Kentucky Derby.
I know.
But Shug is just taking it easy with him. He's pointing him for the first Saturday in May. This is the race for It's My Lucky Day.
I'm expecting those emails to how can you not pick horses that are high on your list? This isn't the Derby. This is not the Kentucky Derby. Echo Eddie, it's our spotlight race for Saturday. 6.5 furlongs, not down the hill. It's on the main track that will be fast at Santa Anita. Very good betting race. Omega Star. I think John Sheriff's had Derby aspirations for this horse. That's why he ran the San Felipe, sort of. He was 7 feet and 13 in that Grade 2 event on the 9th of March. So a much more realistic spot for $200,000. And Omega Star, with his class, with the drop, with speed to sit behind, is he the horse to beat in this race?
He's the horse to beat. I couldn't find anybody to beat him. You're right. You touched all the things that are important here. He's back with the kind of horses that he can handle pretty easily, I believe. And I'm not sure how short a price he'll be, but I think he's clear, the standout in this field.
I'm sure you're a big fan of Fellini. I'm a big fan of Folini, the 2 in this race. I thought his debut was super. He's 2-1 in an 8-horse field. He battles on the front end. He ends up running second to Indian Classic, who benefited from that pace, sat off it and pounced. And I think this horse gained a lot from that. I think he might get away. I like his workouts, couple of solid 5-furlong drills since his second-place effort on the 1st of March, minute and 2/5, March 16th, minute and 4/5, March 25th. And here is that race where, he puts away the other pace, and he can't hold off Indian Classic, who is the 6th horse in tomorrow's Echo Eddie, beats him by a half length. You can see the separation back to 3rd, 5 1/4 lengths. We'll see if Fellini and Tyler Bays, instead of being ahead in front, a 1/4 mile in, can be maybe a length and a half in front, a 1/4 mile in career start number 2. 6-1 morning line. I like the 2 to go gate to wire. Remaining preps, 100 points. Florida Derby.
Okay.
100 points. UA Derby. 100 points. Louisiana, all tomorrow. Then, April 6th, Santa Anita Derby and the Wood Memorial. The following Saturday, April 13th, Arkansas Derby and Bluegrass. And then the 20th, the Lexington. And don't forget about the Derby trial. Tomorrow, 5 weeks away from the Kentucky Derby. Derby 5 weeks from tomorrow. As we get back to Tampa Bay Downs, and Ray's going to stick with us through the first here at Tampa. And I don't have a strong feel here. I do think that the 3, Artie Ocean at 0 for 11, is a bit vulnerable. I get that you see maiden special defeats, you see 32 maiden claiming defeats, and most recently you see second and third at the 12-5 level, and now he drops in for 8. But really, nobody in a maiden 8 race that's raced 11 times and is still a maiden, in my opinion, should be 4 to 5. Could he win? Yes. Should he be favored? Probably. But I don't know. You have the 8 who did run well in his debut and ran second, and you have the 6. I like the win early pedigree here from Elks Big Red, late in heat first out at 11 to 1. And you have the 1 also, Ray, who's, Artie Ocean has been beating him in his last couple starts, but they were a bit closer, at least, in the 17th of March. Had the last word, was 5th, beaten 4 1/4. So obviously he's cutting back in distance as well.
Yeah, you're right. How do you take 4 to 5 on a horse that's going for his 12th or 13th start as a maiden?
And bottom level maiden claiming race.
Yeah, Cool Crosby shortening up a little bit here. The 7 horse taking blinkers off. I don't know. Is there a chance that that he might get brave on the front end today? The last time was his first time in a maiden claimer, so I would tend to get away from the favorite here and go with somebody like Cool Crosby.
All right, and just FYI, for those out there that are obviously eagerly anticipating the card in New York today, Aqueduct, we are 9 minutes away from race number 1 at Aqueduct, so we'll stick here at Tampa, 0 minutes away from race number 1. I think we'll get this race in probably before the first race at Aqueduct, but you never know.
It's always important to bring a book when you're waiting for the first to go at Tampa Bay Downs, and you've already made your bets. You might have a few extra minutes.
Yeah, 3 to 5 on Artie Ocean in the spot. Ronnie Allen Jr. for Gerald Bennett. But it's gonna be a busy day for you tomorrow because you're gonna be at Gulfstream, and again for our TVG fans, you can wager on the card at Gulfstream at tvg.com and watch those races live video streaming. So you're gonna be able to get in most of the World Cup race before you head out to the racetrack tomorrow, Ray?
I think so. Yeah, it's I like the turf race with the Japanese horse. I'm very interested to see how she does. She won the Japan Cup as a 3-year-old filly last year.
Gentle Donna.
And that's right. Gentle Donna is as you referred to her, a potential superstar, and the Japanese horses have done pretty well in Dubai. I think that I'll be curious to see what kind of a price she is here in the States.
Yeah, she could be the shortest price favorite during the entire card. She's 9 to 5 on the morning line. Beat Orfev by an inch in her last start.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a controversial finish too, right? With the two of them,
yes,
the two was drifting out a little bit.
Yeah, there was like a 20-minute inquiry, something like that, extremely long. Just about set for race number 1 here at Tampa. Late money kind of coming in on the 8. Traker at 9 to 5. These bottom level maiden claimers loaded very professionally. We're all set. It's the opener from Tampa Bay Downs. Here's Richard Grunder.
And they're off. Disco Rider breaks for the lead, but quickly Artie Ocean moves up and gains the lead. Gen Tracker comes away with a top flight. There goes Elks Big Red, now advancing to challenge from between horses. Have the last word as the last horse away as they move on to the main track. Elks Big Red on the outside, and the favorite Artie Ocean is toward the rail. Those two heads apart up front, and they're 2.5 clear of Gen Tracker. He's tracking from third by a length. Grave, the first-time starter, is down along the rail, racing along fourth. Then it's a length and a half farther back. Disco Rider is now losing ground fifth. Up on the outside, Have the Last Word, and Cool Crosby far back. 5/16 of a mile to run. Artie Ocean has the lead. He continues to be badgered by Elks Big Red on the outside. 2 lengths farther back, Gen Tracker. And now Rossi asking him to pick it up third. They turn for home, 3/16 of a mile to run. Artie Ocean cuts the corner with the race to win or lose, and now opens up 3 on the field. Elks Big Red under the left-handed whip continues to run at the later second. Gen Tracker is now in full stride down the center of the racetrack, but Artie Ocean is gone. Gerald Bennett and Ronnie Allen Jr. hook up to win the opener, 4 to 5 and going like one. Gen Tracker is second, very close for third between Elks Big Red and the late run by Have the Last Word.
Artie, 3-8-6. Artie Ocean battling on the lead, puts away everybody, wins for fun. 3-8-6 in the first at Tampa. That concludes this edition of Blinkers Off. Ray, enjoy yourself tomorrow and make some money, would you? Make some money tomorrow.
Day. There's some fantastic racing going on tomorrow. We'll all make some money. Let's hope.
All right, Ray Pollock, Buzz in the Biz. Go to his site, Pollock Report, PollockReport.com. And Blinkers Off. Next week, I am on a marketing assignment. So because of that, boy, you lucky. Greg Wolf will be your host. Simon Bray on site at Keeneland. That next time is Friday, April 5th.